Hi, this is MIcornus, Phokane, the leader and the founder of Church Governance Solutions. Today I want to speak about the support that you need as a pastor from your own elders. I want to speak about the type of support that pastors need from their own elders. And this is very important because when a pastor appoints elders, it's because they need support. When a pastor appoints elders, it's because there are some work and duties that the elders should come and help the pastor carry. Because ministry work needs teamwork. Ministry work needs other people to support, because a pastor cannot be a jack of all trades and master of none. And that is the reason that we speak about delegation several times in this platform as Church Governance Solutions. Remember, we are restoring godly order in the house of the orderly God on this platform. And we believe that as we teach you that, it will actually help you to learn much more and to become someone who's actually, as a pastor, be able to appoint the right eldership board, and also the elders as well be able to know how to support their pastor. And why we're teaching about this is that you, as an elder listening to us, you may actually know exactly, if you were not told before, of how you should be supporting your pastor. Now, the first thing that pastors desire to have as a support from their elders is being available at all times when needed. Now, when you commit yourself to become a church elder because you're appointed there, you must be available. You must make yourself available and available for assistance of the pastor and be part of actually the needy of the church. When the church needs you, you must actually make yourself available. You cannot be a church elder and be unavailable at all times. You cannot be a church elder who's not found anywhere when there are needs in the church, or when the church needs you and you're not there. When the pastor needs to utilize you, you're not there. So you cannot be. So therefore, availability then becomes very important. Now, availability of elders is very key, because the pastor needs to lean back onto those people. There are sometimes when there's an emergency call for a pastor, and a pastor is going to miss a church. So he should be able to pick up a phone and pick up one of the elders to minister maybe that particular time. It could be that there's a call for a prayer in a particular family that the pastor cannot make it because of some inconveniences or being busy somewhere. But the pastor should be able to pick up a call and call one of the elders to go and stand in for him. So that's the type of support that we're speaking about, availability at all times. Secondly, being role models to congregation in actions and in lifestyle. I cannot emphasize this enough, because when we talk about being a role model, we talk about you being exemplary. Now, as a role model, you must actually be living a life that the congregation is looking up to. So therefore, you must be respectable at all times. So people should actually, in the congregation, be able to look up to you and honor you because of who you are. And this is very important. And I want to emphasize this because there are many of us who actually become elders for positions and status, and we're not actually minding our lifestyle. We're not minding how we relate with the church. We're not minding our character and also our morals. So because it's very important for you to become exemplary. And as you become a role model, so the church congregation can look up to you. And that's very important that you do so. It's very important also being exemplary in commitment, because it's not only in character, it's not only in attitude, it's not only in spirituality, but it's also being actually exemplary in commitment into the church as well. How committed are you to the vision? How committed are you in supporting the pastor? How committed are you in activities of the church? Because that's very important that as an elder, you become exemplary. So we're speaking about when there's a funeral in the church, are you participating? When there is a wedding in the church, are you participating? Are you there? Are you there to support? Are you making sure that activities of the church are actually, you're part of them? When there's a conference in the church, where are you? Are you available? Are you there to support? Are you there to participate? Is there a role that you play when there's a conference in the church? Those are type of things that we're speaking about. that you must be exemplary in commitment. Now, commitment also would mean attendance of the church services. We will mean as well to be able to attend church services, including midweek services as well. Because this is very important that as an elder, you become exemplary in commitment because you are the one that people are looking up to. The congregation is looking up to the leadership, and if the leadership doesn't seem to be serious about commitment, then we're going to start to see cracks and problems actually in commitment of the church congregation as well, because the leaders are just not committed. So that's very, very important that we become exemplary in commitment as well. We need to be exemplary in financial matters of the church as well. Now, financial matters, we talk about ability to sacrifice as a leader financially, to make sure that when the church doesn't have money, you are the first to give. And giving in this regard is whereby as an elder, you decide to be consistent about it, because the church should be sustained financially. And the leaders should be the first people actually to be examples in this regard. I know that as leaders, you go through a lot as well. There are challenges financially that you go through. Therefore, is it not decent actually to mention to the leadership board when you're struggling, so that they can be aware that they're not going to be actually leaning on you, and they may be able also to assist you where they need to assist you as well. So this is very important that as an elder, you become actually decisive enough regarding finances as well. So support the church financially. As I said, you may not be well off all the time. There are times where it's difficult, but let it be then something that is actually a decision on your own that you will support the church only unless. So therefore, if there are difficulties in your life, who would know there are difficulties, because when you are okay, you are able actually to commit financially into the church, and that's very important. So the church elders should be exemplary in finances in the church. It's also very important that praying for the pastor and family becomes one of the agendas of your prayer times. When you pray in your own family, the pastor and his family must be on agenda of your prayer, must be a prayer item. You pray for them for their success, pray for them to be strong in their vision, pray for them for the church that they are running, pray for them and their families for success and breakthrough, pray for them and their family actually to succeed and to prosper, and all those, they need your prayers, and let God protect them actually when they're facing challenges. Pray for them to break through from challenges that they're going through, and that is actually your duty as a church elder, to pray for your leader or your visionary, the person that has appointed you into eldership. You need to pray for them consistently. The Bible says we must pray for our leaders, and the first leader that you need to be praying for as an elder is your pastor and his family. And that's very important that we emphasize that church elders, please pray for your pastors and their families. That's very, very key that we emphasize that. You need to also to protect the pastor in all aspects. Here we're talking about you cannot engage yourself in gossips with church members about the pastor. You cannot actually participate in scandalous talks about the pastor that people are bringing to you. You cannot entertain that. So you protect your pastor. So in other words, if people are coming with scandalous things about your pastor to you, you protect him, you defend him, and you make sure that in public you defend him. You can actually speak to him maybe and advise him whenever you have opportunity in private, but we are saying here, don't engage in scandalizing your pastor with some people that are busy on wrong missions of scandalizing your pastor. It doesn't matter how true does it look, but you as an elder, you cannot participate in gossip mongering that includes your pastor in. And that's very important that we emphasize that. Because church elders should be exemplary in that regard and make sure that you protect your pastor in all aspects of it. Very, very important. So please have ability to step into leadership role in the absence of the pastor, because there are times when the pastor will be held up somewhere. If the pastor is held up somewhere, be able to stand. And there are times where I always say to elders, as an elder, you must have what we call a spare message. A spare message is when in times of emergency, whereby the pastor cannot be able to arrive in church for certain emergencies, there must still be a normal church service that particular day, because the elders will actually stand up and preach that particular day, even in emergency. So you must always be forever ready as an elder. You must have actually always a spare message, a spare sermon that you would actually minister if in terms of emergency. And that I want to emphasize, because pastors may not make it because of emergencies of their own families, emergencies of their own lives as well. So therefore, the church service should not be interrupted, and we say the pastor is not there. And that's very key that we emphasize that. And I hope that helps many elders that we're speaking to right now on this platform. Remember, we are restoring godly order in the house of the orderly God on this platform. And we always make sure that we teach things that are very key and very important for you to learn out of. Finally, remove all headaches and heartaches from the pastor by participating and carrying the burden with him or her. And that's very important. Now, as an elder, you must be bringing light weight of the burdens from the pastor, where you step in challenges that the pastor is facing, in hard work that the pastor is facing, the heavy work that they're carrying. So you step in and make the work lighter. But that must be voluntarily from you. You cannot only just wait until the pastor gives you a call, but it must be that you step in and assist where you think that the pastor is actually carrying a lot of load. And that is the reason why I want to emphasize that you need to assist the pastor by making sure that you remove the heartaches and you remove the headaches as well of the pastor by carrying the load with them. We want to end up here today. Your host, MIcornus Phokane. I'm the leader, the founder of Church Governance Solutions. Remember, on these platforms, we are restoring godly order in the house of the orderly God. And before we check out, we want to remind you of our Facebook page is Church Governance Solutions. And of course, my personal Facebook page, MIcornus Phokane. Don't forget to click a like and follow on that platform. Don't forget our YouTube channel is under Young Men Empowerment Forum. And please, we request you to subscribe to that YouTube channel. And as you do, at the same time, click the notification button and make sure that you are notified when we have got a teaching of this kind on the video. Don't forget our TikTok account. Our TikTok account is under MIcornus Phokane, and Instagram as well under MIcornus Phokane. Remember that you need to follow and like those pages, and you make sure that you share these platforms as well with your loved ones. Could be your family members, your relatives, and also your colleagues at work that may actually find it needy to listen to these particular teachings. And may the good Lord bless you until we meet again with another topic. Allow us to check out right here and say cheers for now.